Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching this. I'm Stanislav Asovsky. The first thing I want to say, I'm Russian and I protest against the war in Ukraine. Not just the war in Ukraine, I protest against any war, be it war in Ukraine, Iraq, Libya, Vietnam, I don't know, anywhere else. Doesn't matter where. The war is a crime, in my opinion. So, why I'm making this live broadcast? The thing is, the soul and the only purpose of my channel has always been just one thing. I wanted to bring and build a cultural bridge between Russia and the rest of the world. Russia and Korea, Russia and Western Europe, Russia and the United States, and vice versa. And today it seems to be ruined somewhat. I'm sorry, I'm not a native English speaker, first of all. Secondly, I speak much better with my fingers on the piano rather than with my mouth. So my speech is not prepared and can be a little bit sloppy. And yet, that's what I want to say. On March 4, Russia implemented a so-called law, which declares that anybody who says publicly, doesn't matter where, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere, anything against the war can be now punished and condemned and declared to be a criminal. It's a criminal offense now. So I want to say, guys, if you say that speaking against the war is a crime, then be consecutive. Declare Jesus Christ to be a criminal, because Jesus Christ spoke against the war. He said, whoever hits you on one cheek, off the other. Then declare, I don't know, the Buddha to be a criminal also, because the Buddha said the same thing. Declare Mahatma Gandhi to be a criminal. Declare Leo Tolstoy to be a criminal. They're all criminals, right? Speaking against the war, wish to live in peace cannot be a crime. A crime, in my opinion, is a war, any war. And unleashing a war is, in my opinion, a crime. Peace cannot be a crime. Monkeys, they every now and then they take sticks and stones and go about, fuck about, and find members of some other neighboring tribes and kill them, fighting for territory. Are we really monkeys? Yes, they have stones and sticks, but we have nukes, guys. We have nukes, and the power of nukes we have is enough to destroy the whole world, the whole earth, several times. That's what we want? Seriously? We should understand that, the only way for us to survive, for human species to survive in the 21st century and on, is to stop wars, not to fight. We are not fucking monkeys. On my channel, I wanted to proclaim peace and compassion through the means of art. We cannot behave like monkeys. And if we continue fighting, if we continue having wars, I don't mean which war, any war, then certainly, sooner or later, maybe not now, maybe in 50 years, in 100 years, doesn't matter, but sooner or later, some idiot, some crazy fuck will push the nuclear button. And then what? The world will collapse? Death to everything, death to everyone. Is that what we really want? My grandparents, they both were the World War II veterans. And they told me that when the Second World War ended, all the people, thought and wanted to understand that such awfulness should never happen again. Have I really forgotten about that? Speaking about the war, speaking against the war, protesting against the war is a crime? Seriously? War brings nothing else but destruction, death, humiliation. You cannot fight death with death. You cannot fight violence with even bigger violence. You cannot do that. It will never work. You cannot make peace by means of war. And of course, if you ask anybody, any person who unleashes a war, why do you do that? He'll say, we had to unleash the war because they did something. We had to unleash the war because they did something. And everybody says that, fuck, guys, are we like fucking preschool children? You take a preschool child, 5-year-old children, and say, why do we fight each other? Why do we hit each other? Because he took my candy. Oh no, it's because he did something. Seriously. Come on, the worst thing preschool guys can do just hit each other, but we have fucking nukes. Grow the fuck up. You know? How to stop the war in general in the world, just to understand one simple phenomenon, that we should be responsible only for the actions we personally do. For example, if we keep saying that I did something bad because he did something bad, I did something terrible because he did something terrible, it will never work. We'll end up in total destruction. You know, we should just accept that we are responsible for what we do. I'm responsible for what I do. I don't care what other person does. I don't care. If I know that something is wrong, I don't do that. I tell myself I will not do that because this is bad. And I don't care what anybody else does. You know, if something is bad, I tell to myself I will abstain from doing that. And if we all think that way, the next very day we will wake up in the world with no war. Well, with no any war, with no any cruelty, with no need for a nuclear weapon at all. Just that simple thing. Accept responsibility for our own actions. That's it. And now I want to tell all the listeners of my YouTube channel that please don't equalize Russian government to Russian people. Russian government is not the same as Russian people. On the contrary, I personally have always believed that Russian government has always been, since the beginning of the country, the biggest bane and doom of Russian people. You know, I'm Russian. I protest against the war. And all my friends do, and friends of their friends also. You know, there are many Russians who do not accept that. Please don't think that we all do. It's not true. I don't want any war. And I don't care who unleashes it, which government. I don't want to live. I don't want to live in the world under the war. I want people to live in peace, because the war in the 21st century essentially leads to the world's destruction. We should understand that. Now, a couple more words about the economical sanctions against Russia. Guys, I think it's a stupid thing. And I'll tell you why. Because if those countries who implement these restrictions, so-called economical restrictions and sanctions, if they think that they punish, I don't know, Putin or government or whatever, it's a big mistake. No. Ordinary people suffer. People who have already suffered, they suffer even more because of that. Putin government, they don't care. You know, the Russian government has never given a fuck about Russian people. Plain people suffer. You know, because say, for example, some 15-year-old talented guys who were going to study abroad, I don't know, in Stanford, for example, or Oxford or whatever. Now that's it. They cannot pay tuition fees. And are they responsible for anything? Come on, they're 15. You know, they don't even have a right to attend elections. You're punishing them by, you know, making these sanctions. You're punishing innocent people. And people who are not innocent, they don't give a fuck about that. Please understand that also. So, assuming everything, I want to say, guys, I on my channel have always proclaimed peace, love, and compassion, and I will keep doing that. That's the only thing I want. That's the only thing is worth doing. So please understand that. I'm saying no to war. No to war in Ukraine, no to war anywhere in the world. And we should remember that being against the war cannot be a crime. Because Jesus Christ in the Bible said, he said, thou shalt not kill. I don't know, maybe it's kind of not seen here. What is written here? Thou shalt not kill. We shall not kill. We should live in peace. We should understand that once we start a war, ultimately somebody will press the nuke button and the world will collapse. We must learn to live in peace. The lawfulness of war, like the Second World War, or anything even worse than that, should never repeat, should never happen again. We should understand that. Thank you for watching that. Thank you. Спасибо. Kamsahamnida. Gracias. Goodbye.